Colorado. We're joined by student athletes Mya Hollingshed and Jaylyn Sherrod, and head coach JR Payne. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, and then open it up to you all for questions. And as a reminder, Dina will be passing the mic, and please, Christine will be passing the mic, and please state your name and affiliation. Coach?
All right, awesome. How wonderful to be here in person with all of you. Well, we're excited to be here. I have two of my all-time favorite student athletes with me. I have Mya and Jaylyn, both incredible young women and representatives of our program. We're excited about our team this year. We have a lot of veterans and a lot of talent coming back, and a lot of new faces as well. So we're very excited to get started.
Hi, good morning, Coach. Good morning, ladies. Michelle Smith, Pac-12.com. For JR, can you talk about what it's like to start a season with such a veteran team and what a difference it makes as you're sort of envisioning what you guys can be and what you put in place?
Yeah, I mean, everything just seems to move a lot faster when you have veterans, and we're able to, we're able to like put things in quicker. So we might introduce something and it, might be able to introduce it, and then we have veterans that can kind of coach up young players on the sideline and say, well, Coach Jay really wants this or that, so it just seems like we're able to move a little bit quicker than we normally do. It's wonderful to have, sometimes I'll look on the sideline and Mya will be over there, coaching up some of our younger post players or new post players. And I think that's the biggest thing, is to have people that have been there before, they've been through practice, they know what it looks like, they know what expectations are, and it allows you to kind of keep moving forward.
Anne-Marie Anderson, Pac-12. Hey, everybody. My question's for the athletes. I'm wondering, having the short season, the short off season, kind of how did you manage your time? What did you work on?
For me, I would say I was just trying to get back healthy, honestly, and just trying to put myself in the best position I know that it was going to be kind of a struggle getting back into team practice and getting back into going full go, but my main priority this past offseason was just getting back healthy.
And also with the short off season, I think our coach's main priority was for us to be stronger. So I think that really just took into account of like what we really wanted to have for this season. So us being stronger and getting in the weight room a lot more this off season has really helped us on the court. I feel like, just because we were able to make up some of the time that we missed from last year to just really get stronger.
And my quick follow-up, just wondering where you stand in terms, I have in my notes, Masters in Organizational Leadership. Is that still on your docket, or are you in the process? Where are you with that?
I'm currently in the process of achieving that right now, so hopefully I can, accomplish that by the end of this year and come out with the Masters.
Hi, Kevin Dan with Pac-12 Networks. Mya, this question for you. You're coming off such a strong senior season. I know there was some WNBA buzz after the year you had with your undergraduate degree in tow. What led you to decide to come back to Colorado, and how much would it mean to you to get to the Ncaa tournament this year?
Honestly, to start with that last question, it would mean a lot to get there. But the main thing that really led me to my decision was not only getting my master's, but also finishing what we could have started from last season, because we fell short of getting to the NCAA tournament. So I think that just really hurt us a lot, and I think it just drove us this off season and led us into this upcoming season to just want to be better and just not fall short of those little goals, just to get it the first time and maybe overachieve it. So we have a bye going into those rounds and stuff like that. So I think as a team, it just made us stronger and more of it as a unit. I think it just led us to be more focused when it comes to practice. Let our drive to want to be stronger, want to be quicker, want to be the toughest. Coach Jay talks about that all the time. So I think that was just the main thing that just led me to coming back, because we just had some unfinished business. So.
Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. Coach, veteran team, like you mentioned, but given the way you ended last year, a lot of buzz around this team, I know, especially back in Colorado. How have you, addressed that or talked about that with your team going into the season?
Yeah, for us, we talk about, our goal every day is to maximize our potential. we have a lot of potential, but it doesn't really mean anything if you're not striving to maximize what you're capable of. So we won't win a championship today. We won't make the NCAA tournament today, but if we can be striving to be the very best that we can be every single day, then in the end, we will have an opportunity to compete for a championship. We will have an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. So for us, we just, not only are we trying to push ourselves, we're trying to push each other, and hold each other to a pretty high standard of accountability and doing the best that we can. And I think that's where our focus is each day.
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Network. This is for Jaylyn. Injury cut short a spectacular season for you. Describe what you learned from the sidelines watching your team and how that's going to help your club this year.
Last year, I think the biggest thing I learned from my team was how resilient we are. Being that I wasn't playing, I saw a lot of people step up, and I saw a lot of people put themselves in a position to just help us be the best that we could be. And I think going into this season, it just proves to us what we can be and what we can do, and how we need to not only take that, but we need to take it and step up and be even more. Just like Coach Jay just said, just being 1% better every day will add up to the end of the season. And I think that's what we're really focusing on right now. So I think from last year, just seeing how resilient the team is and how everybody steps up.
JR, quick question for you regarding the transfers in from Washington, how they've been able to help you at this point. I know it's very early, but what you're seeing from them and how they may be able to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, just first and foremost, they are absolutely awesome. We just love them. And we knew Quay from high school. We recruited her, and she chose to stay at Washington. But so we've known her, for a very long time. But they just absolutely blended in with our team beautifully, from the very first training session or the very first time they were there. They're a really big and very important part of our program, right now. They have experience, they have collegiate experience, they have Pac-12 experience, so they know, what this conference looks like. They know what it looks like to be successful. With that being said, I think we operate, differently than they did, before. So there's a lot of things about their experience with us that is very new and very different than what they experienced their first year or two of college. But I expect them both to have a very big impact on our team. They're great players, they're great people, they're great women, and we're thrilled that they're with us.
Joan Bonvicini, Pac-12 Networks. Hi, JR. With the NIL and all going on, has that affected your team or you guys individually? This is for the players. Can you talk about that at all?
NIL is very new. I think they've been very informative with the student athletes on campus about like what you can do, what you can't do still. Even though the rules are very new, they're still trying to figure out, the do's and don'ts of, a lot of aspects of it. For me personally, I don't really have a brand, besides my name, but I don't really have anything outside of that or outside of CU. So there's nothing for me to really focus on outside of that, but just learning information about the marketing side or the things that you could make money from, or just using your name as a brand is very informational. So I definitely take that into account.
Okay, one more question. You guys have a lot more experience coming back this year. Let's talk about, and fast forward to the end of the season. What do you want it to say that you guys accomplished this year? And how, you've talked about potential, everything. What do you really have to do?
I think what we really have to do is just buy into each other and focus on us. I think that's the biggest thing we can do. Being in a conference that is so talented, and any given night, anything can happen. I think the most important thing is just to focus on Colorado and focus on the 16 people that's in that room and who put on jerseys, and just, we have to do what we have to do, and we know what we have to do. And, it's easy to say that, but we just actually have to put, basically our money where our mouth is. So we just have to do what we have to do.
Hi, Coach. Kevin Dan with Pac-12 Networks. If I'm doing my math right, you've had Mya there for every year besides your first how have you seen her grow as a player in person, and what excites you about having her back for her fifth
Have
season?
I seen her grow? Man. Oh my goodness. Did anybody see Mya as a freshman? Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because the first day of practice this year, I went over to Mya, we were getting started, and I said, next year, I'm not going to know what to do without you. You know, I have only had one season, as you said, without Mya on our team. Mya is a ray of sunshine to anyone who has ever seen her play, been in a class with her, been anywhere around her. She's just an incredible human being. Her growth has also been equally incredible. You know, on the court, in the classroom, as a woman, as a teammate. You know, I always say that coaching is just sort of the vehicle that God gave me to impact young women. You know, I could have been a teacher, I could have been a bus driver, but I'm a coach. And the greatest thing that I can do as a coach is sort of to watch and help and inspire young people to reach for their potential. And Mya has done that, as I said, in every single area of her life. And she's going to play pro, and she's going to go on and do great things on the basketball court. She also will go on and do great things in life. And I'm very, very proud of her for all that she's done.
Yeah, Ben Parker from CardinalSportsReport.com. Kind of going off of that, I'm looking at Mya's stats. Freshman year, 6.8 points, 3.9 boards. Last season, 15.4 points, 7.8 rebounds. And kind of every year, your point production goes up, your rebound production goes up, your shot blocking goes up. Just kind of talk about how you kind of find ways to every year come back and just get a little bit better in all those areas.
Yeah, each year during the off season, we have our end of season talks with Coach Day, and then all the conversations that we have in between then. So I always find one thing that I want to improve on each season. So I think the last year was like my mid-range game, and I think this year was like ball handling. So I think me focusing on that one thing will help round my game completely, and that way it allows me to do things that I've already been doing at a higher and successful rate. Me adding those little things and focusing on those little things to hone into those skills, I think has really helped my game completely. And then Coach J just being as patient and as positive as she can be throughout my 5 years here could not have been who I am today without having her here.
Alyssa Charleston, Pac-12 Networks. It was hard to miss both of your guys' smiles when you talked about the UW transfers. What is it like to have two teammates now that you played against just a few months ago? And tell us some stories about the two.
Honestly, I did not know Tam that well. Last year I didn't play that much, so I didn't actually get a chance to have a relationship with Tam beforehand. But Quay, I knew Quay because we both were freshmen when we came in, and we actually kind of connected some throughout our years in college. But I mean, they're great. They're honestly great. They're just a ball of energy, and they just come and they are who they are, and you can't help but love it about them because their energy and the way they motivate is different, but it's just I don't know, it makes you smile, it just makes you happy. So
yeah. Going off that, like before, again, didn't even know Tam, and I didn't even think she talked for like the longest of time, but just being able to get her out of her comfort zone was just funny to see, just because who she is now, just seeing how much of a goofball she really is just makes practicing, going into practice a lot funnier. Quay the same way. I didn't really talk to her, but in games would have like little interactions. Like I remember one time getting an offensive rebound on a free throw on her and scoring it, and then like the next time down she was like, Mya, can you please like not do that? Like the coach doesn't really like when you do that. So I think just having those little interactions with them before just made their transition here a lot easier.
Back here. For the players, can you guys both sort of reflect on what you're going to remember about last season, just the weirdness, the COVID, the playing in empty gyms, and sort of how the excitement or how you're feeling about getting to play in front of fans again and just getting things back to normal?
I think the biggest thing I'll remember from last season is just how it was just tough. Last year was really tough on a lot of people, and I think just seeing how we came out of it and how we got through it together will probably be the one thing I remember. I mean, we would test every day, and we had to separate sometimes, and we had to wear masks everywhere. I think that, just seeing how we got through it is probably one of the things I remember. And looking forward to this season, I'm just happy that everybody gets a chance to just have an actual basketball season, like have fans and enjoy the atmosphere that comes with basketball season. So I think that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Oh, yes. What I'm also looking forward to is being able to, since last year was my senior year technically, actually coming back to have a proper senior season with some former, seniors and also the current seniors, Sela and Peanut. Adding them to, our senior night will also be a lot of fun. Just seeing them grow as well since they first came here is actually crazy that I'm still here, that they're now seniors. So, and then last year was just tough, just having to test all the time, not having the freedom to, go certain places when you're traveling to, California or Arizona, just to, do the things that you normally would do, or just, go hang out by the pool. So I think it will be a lot easier for us to do that this year while still, mandating masks and stuff, being mindful of what we need to do because, COVID is real and we don't want to miss any games because of it.
JR, you guys were picked 7th in the recently announced preseason poll. Last year, I think you were picked last. You finished 9th. You had some big wins. Every year you seem to pick off somebody. Picked 7th, though. That's got to feel good. I know coaches don't put a lot into the preseason prognostications, and yet that sounds good if I'm a CU fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Our league is just so tough. I think if you're picked first through 12, you should be confident that you have a good ball club and you can compete on any night in the Pac-12 because that's what every team in our league does do. Every team competes every single night. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited, for where we are, and I'm very excited for where I think we'll finish. I'll say that.
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Networks. JR, this is for you. We've had conversations over the years that your ultimate dream team would be long and athletic and get up and down the floor. As I look at this roster, looks like your dream is becoming reality. So my question to you is, what does Colorado success look like for you at season's end?
Yeah, at season's end, we want to be a team that's very disciplined, organized. We want to be really tough, fearless. We always talk about being the hardest working, toughest, and most disciplined team in the country. And if we can strive to be those three things, whether we are every single day or every night, if we can strive to be those three things every single day, then I think we will see a lot of success this season.
Great. Thank you, Mya, Jaylyn, JR. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Washington will be in shortly.
Thanks, y'all.